Hi, I'm Becky from Bright Morning, and this is a monthly snapshot of our webinar. So, one of our number one most asked questions is about resistance. And so, our webinar is about how we turn resistance into resilience. And so, whether you are a coach, you are a leader, or a PD facilitator, you are going to encounter resistance. And the best thing you can do is to build your knowledge and skills so that way you really understand what's underneath the resistance and how you can effectively coach it. So, in Arise, the art of transformational coaching, Elena shares a bit about what she's learned about resistance. Resistance is someone's fear or anger or sadness. So when you see resistance, that's the surface level manifestation of some of these emotions. Resistance is oftentimes a label that we place on someone else's behavior. If we see and ask ourselves, gosh, why is she so resistant? That's what we are going to manifest. Sometimes resistance is this dynamic between coach and client. And to better understand resistance, we need to examine the context of the coaching relationship. Resistance oftentimes appears when someone's core human needs for belonging or autonomy or purpose aren't being met, or when someone feels like their core values are misaligned or compromised. And ultimately, we can see resistance as an opportunity. Resistance can be this moment of clarity and connection and really healing in the context of coaching. Resistance isn't defiance or laziness or simply someone saying, I don't care. And if we can shift our understanding of what resistance is, we can shift our entire coaching relationship and approach to resistance. Now, a couple of places where we see coaches and leaders get really stuck, they perceive resistance as defiance. This person's so difficult, they will never. Or when they see resistance, they respond with more pressure and control. You must meet this deadline. This is a mandate. And that kind of pressure can actually backfire. Or they take the toxic positivity route and they just pretend like the resistance isn't there at all. Change the subject, avoid it, maybe skirt around it. And so with all of these pitfalls here, it's important to recognize they're really human. They're really understandable. You might have seen this modeled. You might have been taught to engage with resistance this way, but ultimately it intensifies the resistance that we see. So a couple of transformational coaching moves you can make instead. Shift from judgment to curiosity. When you see what you perceive to be resistance, slow it down. Pause. Regulate. That increases the likelihood that the person in front of you is going to do the same. And think about open, reflective, and really honest questions you can ask. When you slow a conversation down like that and you tap into curiosity, you're communicating to the person in front of you. It's safe for you to reflect and maybe even grow and shift. You want to activate your coaching client's agency. Agency is the antidote to disempowerment, and when you see resistance, you probably are going to see disempowerment. This can be as simple as offering choice, using invitation-based language, inviting your client to reflect on their strengths and their influence. Those micro moments of agency are going to build momentum. Last thing you can think about is how do you activate your client's connection to meaning and purpose? Purpose is a core human need, and so when you invite people to reflect on their why, on their values, it really allows them to go, yeah, I think I do want to be here. It allows them to increase their resilience, and oftentimes you'll see the resistance melt away. So know that with time and consistency, with these moves, you will see resistance dissipate and you will build your client's resilience in the process. A great place to keep learning is using one of our newest toolkits, the Coaching Resistance Toolkit. You're going to see resources like scripts and frameworks and examples and a deeper understanding of what is resistance and resilience in this toolkit. Now, if you are ready to put this into practice so that way coaching resistance and building your client's resilience feels like second nature, go ahead and join our Coaching Resistance Workshop. You're going to see models, you're going to hear debriefs, you're going to have questions answered, and you will have lots of opportunities to practice with other coaches and leaders who deeply care about this kind of work. We hope that we see you in other webinar spaces. Go ahead and register for our next one, and onward.